8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's time for Geocache Talk. Whether you are at work, in the car, or wherever you are, we hope you enjoy this show about the great sport of geocaching. If you're watching live on YouTube, you can be part of the adventure tonight in the chat room and participate with others as they watch the show. If you are listening later, please give it a like and subscribe on your favorite podcasting app so that you can get all of the weekly Geocache Talk goodness. If you would like to become a patron, click on the Become a Patron link on the front page of the Geocache Talk website or head over to patreon.com/Geocache Talk for more details. Patrons get the now famous blackout coins and other geocaching items during the year. Support levels start as low as the Bison Tube level, which is only $3 a month.
Big thanks to Derek of Baker Six Clan. Not sure who he is. And our featured patrons. Our featured patrons, ACDC Family, None of It Tidy, Josh Boggs, Carrot Killer, Korsgat, Geocaching with Lampe, Dave and Karen of Cache Canada, Team Tailwagger, Black Chrome, Super Nate, and our new patrons, Action Trinity, TKD Scouter, and Tax Pro RGV. How about that one?
Brand new people in the house.
Got some
But
new
they're
people.
pretty busy doing taxes right now, too.
I know, probably very busy.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
All right. We got a lot to cover. Let's jump right into show 244 as we discuss how to maximize attending a mega. And we got everybody on. The gang's all here.
That's right.
So very exciting. Always exciting to have everybody together. If not together, at least virtually. Yep, full house tonight. Jeff is correct. It's a full house. There he is. So TKD Scatter's on. Hello from the land of Ben and Jerry's. Yes, he lives in Vermont. So that's
Oh
very
man,
cool.
You know what Vermont's state motto is, don't you?
I do not.
Come and smell our fresh dairy air.
Can we put him in timeout? How do we?
How does that happen?
I think we
I'm
do.
2 minutes.
Okay, he's gone.
man.
No.
You got bugged.
I've got a good Ben and Jerry story, but I'll save it for when we meet at the Mega.
Oh, there you
There
go.
we go.
Yes. Now that's
Which
not.
It's actually going to be in person, not virtual. So there we go.
Yeah, but that's mean because there's two people here that can't go. So sad faces for Jeff and for Emily.
Jeff can go. He just can't get back.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can make it. Can you?
Do they
read-
let you out?
Yeah.
It
What's
would have to be an essential trip to get over the border, first of all, and then I'd probably have to quarantine for 2 weeks, and then I'd have to quarantine for 2 weeks coming back. Yeah, it's just, yeah.
yeah.
Well, you don't have the quarantine come in this direction.
No. We'll fly you to Mexico and then sneak you across the border that way. Everybody's coming across the border that way.
I don't think
Is it
you have to sneak. I think you just walk.
Yeah.
Isn't mental health necessary?
Exercise, mental health. I mean, that's pretty essential.
Come on.
to me.
Come on. That's
Well, just geocaching. Isn't geocaching essential now? I think it is. That's
Yeah.
gotta be
I'm not
some
sure
kind
if,
of
if
rule.
Canada would stop you from going over the border. The U.S. side might not stop you from coming in, but I don't know about Canada going over. I don't know.
You might
Only
just have
way to
stay
find
for
out.
a couple weeks. Yeah.
Too late.
In fairness, Mingo is coming up, and it is only 11 days away. But there's a lot of portions of the country that are not going to be able to travel to it, right? So, and we're
Correct.
talking about Megas tonight, but we're picking on them too. But there's a lot of people that won't be willing or ready to travel yet. But Megas are starting back, so hopefully in the future, right? Many people will get to go.
Oh,
Yeah, and that's something I wanted to point out was we're not just talking about Mingo Madness tonight. We'll mention it because it's going to be part of it, but there are a lot of megas that are planning to have
Resume.
to host this year. There's a lot that have been canceled or moved, but like Jeff, we were talking about you mentioned some before. LNA, right, is still
Yeah. We have one mega in LNA, and I think there's one other mega in the BC. So Canada has the 2 megas. I'm not sure if there's more, but we only have the one in Ontario. And right now, Ontario is once again in lockdown, a stay-at-home order.
Right.
So that one will only happen if we're not in lockdown anymore at that time.
right.
And restrictions on gatherings are opened up.
Right.
So, and that one's in the fall. So yeah,
It's fall.
don't even know if that one's going to make it. since
So
we're
there's a
locked down right
possibility. There's some others I know. I think of us. I don't know who all is planning to going to the going caching. I know Emily, you're thinking about going, right?
We're going. I think we're
Emily's
taking
going. Derek's going. I'm planning to go. Charles is a possible. The reason is that my son lives in Georgia. I'm wearing my Georgia shirt, by the way. My Bucky's feeling the Bucky's vibes, Georgia. Anyway, CoinFest is still on. Moga is still on for everybody who's interested in that one. There's a handful, and we probably will go through. I need to pull up the list while we're talking tonight. There are a few. Other countries have a few. So if you're planning to go to one, make a note or mention it in the chat room. We would appreciate that if you are planning to go to a mega this year. And if you don't go this year, I think this discussion will be good because it really lends itself to other megas in the future. So, but first, before we do that, we got a few other things to cover. So the aforementioned mega Mingo Madness, it actually starts in 11 days. Can y'all believe that?
Yes. Cannot wait.
11 days is all we're out. Woo! A little further trip for Charles. Now that he's no longer in Colorado, he's going to go a little further. He's now in Arizona. We'll get an update from him here in a minute. But 11 days, and it all starts. It starts on a Thursday. Some of us will be there right around that time, and so looking forward to that trip. Really excited. A lot going on. We're definitely well represented as far as Geocache Talk. We've got our booth items ready to go. We have a new. Well, I can't give. I don't want to spill all the beans.
That's right.
Otherwise, they'll click the button and then make me do the spill the beans.
That's right. No spilling the beans tonight. No beans to spill. Just planning stuff.
Well, there might be, but yeah, no. Okay, and then next item in the news, we do want to mention a shirt that we're in the process of. We have in the shop. We would appreciate if y'all would take a look and see if you like one of these. Here it is. It's the Gadget Talk podcast. Has the May the 4th be with you. So definitely pick one up. I am fortunate enough to have one of those. So looking forward to Gadget Talk on May the 4th, which is coming up. So are y'all doing a Star Wars themed gadget, or what are y'all doing, Charles? I mean, Chad.
No, not Star Wars theme.
No, but look at Chad's background. I mean, it's Star Wars theme. I mean, look at my background. I got an at up here. So, I mean, come on.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know if y'all were doing, since it's May the 4th, and it's, okay.
We actually have our puzzle talk, or our puzzle box challenge on that one on May the 4th.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
So, but it would have been good to plan a Star Wars one. That would have been great. Good idea.
Oh, right. But we did say if you're doing a puzzle box and you theme it Star Wars, that's extra points.
Yeah.
Notice.
There you go.
So, a couple of things I want to get updates, and then we'll get into the meat of the topic. But first, let me go to Charles. And Charles, give us update first on where in the world you are now. So where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? And then also kind of give a quick note. Again, we talked about it last week on Puzzle Talk, but kind of give everybody a little update on our contest. But first, tell people about where you're living these days. You don't have to give us your address, but I mean, that's not, you don't have to go that far.
Yeah. We'll publish that after the show.
Yeah. It'll be in the show notes. Yeah. So I am in North Phoenix, Arizona. So if you're familiar with Phoenix at all, I'm roughly in the area of the 51 and the North 101. So I'm in North Phoenix, as north as I could get and probably still be in Phoenix. So it's warm. We've been acclimating, went to a community celebration event over the weekend, found an adventure lab and some caches. So we're acclimating to the warmer temperatures, even though everybody here in Phoenix has told us that it's still rather cool. So we'll see how that goes. But in
weather,
it is mankini weather down here.
I don't want to see that
again. Never again.
We've seen it.
But yeah, no, it's flip-flop weather year round down here. So my wife is excited about that, and whatnot. So we're making the best of it. It's, a new job, and I went from being the subject matter expert in my field at work to having zero practical experience in the job that I'm doing now, and have 4 subject matter experts who did this for years. Some of them in the military for 20 years. They did radios and RF and telecommunications in the military, and they are teaching me something new every day. So
the ropes, as it were.
Yeah, it's a fun process, but that's where we're at, hanging out in the desert. And I've got, at a minimum, I'll be here for 13 months. So it's a 13-month commitment in the beginning. Work, as long as they're happy with me, can extend me another year after that. But for right now, I'll be here till the end of May next year. So,
and there's a lot of very cool caches in Arizona. So
yeah, I got to meet some patrons of the show, the patrons of the Sunday show, some people who listen to our Puzzle Talk show on Spotify. So ran into a bunch of them that so they don't watch it live, but they download it and listen to it on their commute. So was really neat to, for one of my first, and we had a good attendance, about 30 people at this community celebration event from all over the state. And we had some people come down from Colorado,
cool.
That I knew from Colorado and seeing events up there. So it was kind of neat to attend that event and get to meet my new local cachers and patrons of the show and people who listen and whatnot. So it was a really cool event and time to get out and see people.
Awesome. Yes, very cool.
So what is it like to open the geocaching map around your home address and see something other than smileys everywhere? Once you've already found, that's got to be awesome.
And there are so many. For the last 6 years, we've lived in rural America. So we were at both of the locations we've lived in the last 6 years, both in Colorado and in Wyoming. We were over an hour from our closest interstate. So you get out there in rural America, and it doesn't take you long to find them all. And then you pull up the map for Phoenix, and it's just, it's there is no lack of caches. Once we kind of get settled and whatnot, Since I have enough of them and they're not going anywhere, I do plan on trying to do a year-long streak, just so I can get it done and qualify for a bunch of those challenge caches that are out there, and then get rid of it. But I was scared to do that in Wyoming and in Colorado because then you run out of caches.
Yeah.
There probably weren't 200 caches, within 50 miles of where I was living in Colorado. So, you have to try and strategically save some of those for, quick finds on souvenir days and whatnot. So,
yep.
So, we're not going to let you just casually drop that you might be going on a streak, right? Without messing with you a little bit. So, as an advanced cacher, going for a 366, I think you could do it without doing any traditionals.
Wow.
There's your challenge.
Ooh, there's the challenge here. And I tell you what, looking at the map around Phoenix, that's totally doable.
Wow.
100% doable to do it. I probably would start that at a month and see how rough that was for me. But there are enough GeoArts around here to where as long as you solve them all, you could go out and just nab one, or I'm going to take the scenic route home from work, and traffic so far for us hasn't really been that bad. The only downside to Phoenix is the only way to get out of here to the north is on Interstate 17. Yeah. And there's no frontage road for the interstate. So when there's an accident on the interstate, you're stuck in traffic.
Right.
Going the other ways through town, it's pretty easy to avoid some of the high traffic flow areas. But we sat in traffic for a half hour. I easily could have walked.
Wow.
Faster than we were driving in traffic on I-17 this weekend because of an accident. So, yeah.
You like the Office Space where the guy with the walkers getting past all the people that are sitting there.
Hold on. We got one for you, Charles.
Oh, I'll make sure to reach out.
If you need help with solving puzzles, we got some people to help you.
I'll send you a couple of GC codes.
If I'm not saying you should, but if I hosted a show about, say, puzzles, I would probably try to do my streak in puzzles. But that has nothing to do with you. I'm just saying, if I was hosting a puzzle, like a talk about puzzles, I'd probably come on the air and tell everybody when I started. So if I messed up, they could all shame me. I'm just throwing out suggestions. I don't know.
You wouldn't do that.
No, I'm not saying he should. I'm just saying I would probably do that.
Oh, sure.
You do whatever you want to do.
So I think Jesse needs to do a streak of Earth caches.
Jesse's not doing a streak of anything. I'll tell you now. I'm not doing a streak. I cheated on my first streak. I'm not doing another one. I don't need to cheat again. There's no point.
Jesse did the streak thing, and he about killed himself doing that. So
we all almost murdered our whole family. Each one of us individually almost murdered each other. So
yeah. No,
100 days was hard.
Yeah.
So just a quick note, and we'll get into the show. But the Puzzle Talk put out a challenge. If people would finish before May 11th, they would finish the puzzle on the back of the shirt and sent their answer to Puzzle Talk Podcast at gmail.com. Charles and Tom will do their checks on it, and if it's correct, then they will get extra prizes, extra loot if they can get it. And apparently somebody might be close, but who knows? So if you think you got it, you better jump in there before the other person beats you to it.
I hope they hurry up and get it because I want that number 4 Whataburger and the root beer float.
That's right. Or Dr. Pepper float, one of the two.
So at any rate, the person who gets it first is going to get mailed to them one of our blue coins. But if you solve the puzzle on the back of the Puzzle Talk shirt, I'll also mail you one of my trackable tags.
Yep.
I also have a year membership.
Yep.
to Groundspeak,
there you go.
Your premium membership, Gary has
I've got the regular coin, the old show.
The Sunday, the new coin for the Sunday
old
show.
Yep, the old Sunday show, as Charles calls it.
the new coin for the old show. I like that.
That's right, the plain old Sunday show. And then
the plain old Sunday show.
Tom will eat a number 4 Whataburger in your honor.
He will,
with a root beer float. So that's the gauntlet that's kind of been thrown down, and we'll see where it goes. I've had a couple of people email me. I'm not shy about letting you know that your coordinates were wrong, and I don't give out any. It's about a difficulty 4.5 puzzle, so it's up there. It's not a walk in the park, but definitely doable. And if nobody gets it by the 11th, then we'll give out a, hint towards being able to solve it, starting after that show.
Yep.
So
send your answers to puzzletalkpodcast@gmail.com. And if you go out to Chromia Print /collections/geocaching, you can purchase that shirt. You can have it in a couple days, and you can jump into that contest.
Start solving.
All right.
I have to, if they don't do it in time, does that mean I have to eat a regular Whataburger or cut out the float?
You don't get anything.
You have to eat one every day until they call it.
You're banned from Whataburger for
that's
a whole year.
The problem, Jesse. That would not be a problem.
You can do that, huh?
I'll take one for the team.
He will. Okay, so there's a couple different strategies for megas. We've all been to megas. I got a little echo working there somewhere. It's okay. I wonder who that is. I don't know. Everybody mute. Oh well. All right. So some different strategies, and we've all been to megas, so we're going to talk about different things that are possible, different strategies. So we'll kind of go around the room. We've all been to them. So one of the strategies I wrote down was called the VIP Platinum level approach. So this is you buy all the swag and everything else that is presented to you as possible items for the mega. You show up early before the mega starts or before any of the events start. You stay past the mega. You go to every side event, every potential side event, and you just kind of keep going and doing everything that's as possible. You just blow out and do everything. You stay up late. You pull a Yossi and you just keep going. Of course, his was different, right? Jesse, when y'all were at Going Caching last year, he would be up like all night because he was trying to get more.
He would find 100 before we met him for breakfast. Easy. Just all day going.
So, thoughts from anybody on this strategy? Have you done it? Or will you never do it? What are your thoughts? Oh, go ahead, Emily.
This is me. How did you know? Give me all the things. I want all the mementos, or for Going Caching, I need to buy all the things to solve all the puzzles. And I want to do all the events, not miss anything, and add in as much as I can to the experience.
Now, Going Caching, Tom will give you hang on. Going Caching, though, is unique because for that one, it's almost like a full week anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like a full week, even if you weren't taking the VIP approach, because they have so many other things that are part of it.
But everything other is completely related.
Yeah. Like you said, you've got, like last year, I ran into you and your mom, and I was like, "What are y'all doing right now?" Because everybody can probably guess which one I am, but and you're like, "Oh, we're going after the treasure chest." I'm like, "Cool, what's that? Let me follow along." So I followed you guys along, and you were stamping your little passport for that, and off you went. Oh, there it is. He's got one of them.
Yep.
Yeah, I forget.
Yeah, that's what
Derek's
we were
got
looking
one of
for.
Now, was all that in there when you?
No.
That little sign was, though. That little sign is a part of the puzzle solving.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was empty when you stole it, right?
No, well, not completely. It had the stamp.
Okay.
Right. Wow, that's awesome. Okay, Tom, you want to comment on the VIP package?
Yeah, that's what Cheryl and I do. We've been to every Woodstock since Carnation, and we buy the VIP package for every one of them. Even the one we put on, we bought the package. So,
a lot of those packages have some extra bonus, not just swag, but some perks like snacks or good parking or.
I was just going to say that parking, VIP parking.
Yeah, VIP parking
Yeah,
can be
parking,
huge.
yeah.
A tent to have a spot to rest and shade from the sun. So there's even things that aren't take-home equivalent that are value.
And Cheryl would push for, so I can plug her right now, would push for a VIP +1 package like we had it at ours.
You got yours,
And VIP.
Yeah, that from the Giga.
Our
that
VIP Giga
VIP package that was our parking, right?
Yeah, that was our
you
parking.
stick this in the window, and that's how they know that you're VIP.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. So I've actually had done a little bit of VIP.
Yeah, I do the VIP swag stuff. When I like to get in the coins, and I'll try and do as many events as I can. But I may just, if you're doing a lot of the side events and going caching on top of all that, I'm probably not going to be going caching unless I'm going out with a group, and I think we're probably coming to that one next, aren't we?
Yeah, that's different, right? So let's talk about the next one in the list. Yes, Albedo is completely correct because Tom, you bring this up all the time too. Is that you buy the swag, not necessarily. I mean, you get to enjoy it, but you got to think of it as a chance to support the event. And something, Tom, you've also mentioned before is that even if you're not a person that collects all that, then give it away.
Give it away.
Yeah, I think that's a good point to bring up because there's a lot of people that may be listening tonight that there's a lot of people that joined the game since Megas stopped, right?
Yeah.
So we always try to remember not everybody has been to 50 megas and everything else. And there's some people in here tonight that haven't ever been to one. And what people might not understand about megas, it's not like a concert or some other movie that you go to or some special show. These are put on by geocachers. They don't get a budget from HQ to put these on. They have to raise all the money every single year to put these things on. And most of the time they do it by swag, right? I mean, that's the general way they raise money for these things. It's not some company that comes in, Garth Brooks's road crew is not coming in to set this thing up. It's a bunch of geocachers that would rather be out geocaching, but they're putting this together. And the only way they can pay for that is people buying stuff because it didn't cost to get in.
Right.
It only costs to buy stuff. So generally that's the biggest revenue stream.
No, you're
the other nice thing about the other good thing about giveaways is that if not everybody wants to pay that much money to get all of the stuff in the package. So if you are able to get the entire VIP package, you can give away individual things for, as mentioned in the chat there, for things like raffles at events and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
If somebody wants something in that package but doesn't want to pay for the entire package, then that's another good opportunity.
No, absolutely.
You can whether you collect that swag or not. Yeah, exactly like y'all were saying. You can trade it out for other people. You can give it away at events. Hopefully, you can host events at some point again in the future. And there's so much you can do with that swag, right? Hide it in caches. Hopefully, you're going to open some caches this next year. put a shirt in there for the first to find, or a coin or
or a
something like
coupon
that.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you put valuable stuff in there, who knows who might?
Well,
take it.
it won't last past the first person anyway. The first person comes steal all the stuff,
True.
right? So
True.
whatever. It's still fun for people.
Yeah. Perfect. Yes. So the next type of mega tender is the one I call "Get out of my way. I'm here to geocache." That's their approach. Is if there, and I wrote, if there's a cache within a day's drive, you're doing all of them.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing everything within a day's drive of that mega. And there's folks that take that approach.
Absolutely.
There are people. Well, I'm going to call out Doug McCrae, inventor of Ms. Pac-Man. I've never been able to. I've been to events. I was at Giga, and he was there, but he doesn't stick around. And boy, so he's planning to be at Mingo. And I sent him a note, and I said, "Hey, mind say hi." He's like, "Well, I'll try, but we're only planning to be at the Mega for about 5 minutes, and then we're leaving." So.
Well, and I know some people that do this, right? And they've been to several megas. They'll come and show up at the main mega or the event. They'll walk through, check it out for 15 or 20 minutes. Their idea is they're going to a new area to cache, and they're going to clean out that area in case they never come back.
Right.
And they're going to get everything they possibly can in that week, that weekend, or whatever, that may be their vacation time that they're using. So that may be the vacation they're doing for 6 months or a year, and they may never come back to that place. So they're getting everything. The event's cool, but they've been to events before. They prefer to be out there caching, and that's just their style, right?
Yeah, and I want to point out there's nothing wrong with any of these styles.
No.
Oh yeah, there is. We're gonna make fun of them. Right? That was just before the show. My fault.
Yeah. So yeah, Direwolf, we're getting to that. Just hang on.
Yeah, I think me and Direwolf are gonna have the same
Hang
theory.
on.
But we'll get to
Hang
it.
on. Hang on to that. So what are some other thoughts about this plan?
I know several that do that as well. And that's one thing about megas. I mean, in geocaching, even a mega is the same way as geocaching is. There's something for everyone. Don't change the way you cache, but enjoy yourself. I mean, that's what this whole game is about, right?
Right.
Is enjoying ourselves. So cache, go to events the way you want to, just have fun. I mean, yeah, there's so many different styles, but just have fun with it. I mean,
I think Derek just finished the show. That was our conclusion. We're pretty much done now.
Yeah, we're done.
We're all done. See you guys later.
And I've had to recognize, what do I really want to do, and it's okay to let go of all the things I can't do when there's not enough time. Right. So it's okay. Just do what is going to make you happy, and it's okay if you can't get it all done, because how could you possibly get it all done unless you're willing to sacrifice something,
Yeah, it's like if you think about it, it's a mega event, and there's so many people coming from all over the place. It's not just people from all over, it's all these different caching styles as well. And if new caches are placed, there's like something for everybody. So go and
it's a buffet.
Do
you
the sort of
can't eat it
experience you
all.
want to have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but we can try, right?
But we can try.
You got to get them all, right? You got to find
Where
every
are
single cache in the
stretchy
world. That's the goal.
And
What do you do if you're a first to find hound on a street?
oh, you're in
Good luck.
You turn on
Go get the geo
notifications.
art.
you're in trouble. Yeah, that
I would say claim first to find on the Omega event. You're good to go.
I think
though.
it might be a cool thing in an event like that to have a corral and put all the first to find hounds in it and publish the cache and turn them loose.
Well,
Isn't that called Texas Challenge?
that is Texas Challenge.
Yeah.
But you just know there's going to be someone who's not in the corral who goes and claims the FTF before anybody else gets there.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool.
There
Especially to some little kid.
there are usually some. There are, but Tom, or maybe you'll know this, people in the chat room know, there are usually some caches that are published the morning of.
Yep. Turn
right?
on those notifications if you're a premium member, because you never know.
Right.
And
you'll have
the
to
best
set
part
them
is
up
when,
for the
say,
area.
Yeah, if there's something happening at the event and everybody's there's like somebody talking, and then some phones start buzzing, you see half the heads look down, new cache. Gotta sneak out now.
Gotta go now.
What if the guy on the stage presenting?
Yeah.
He takes off, drops the mic, goes.
Now, Jeff, as you mentioned that, do you need to change? Because if you're going to get a notification, you're going to have to change your location, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can set it up for regions and distance
Go into your
from and
settings.
stuff like that, so you can.
Right.
Yeah. You'd set it up for a distance around the mega event, most likely.
Yeah. So don't forget to do that if you're wanting to do that. Don't forget, because otherwise, all you're going to get is FTFs back home, and you're going to really feel bad because you're like not home. And you can't go get those because you're not there. So, all right. Move on to the next one. We got an extra one added. That's cool. I like that. People added some notes. The next one I'm going to call the go with the flow approach. Hey, we're going to go find this cool Earth cache. Want to come along? Sure, I'll come along. You will find caches, but you might get distracted by the maze or some other side item. Hey, cool. Check out too. There's an adventure lab, a city over. You want to come with us? Yeah, what the heck? I'll go with y'all.
Why not? Yeah, that's a squirrel approach. Yeah.
Didn't your mama teach you not to get in the car with strangers?
Nope.
And it all went out the window with geocaching.
Yeah, geocaching. That's for sure.
Only sport in the world you can meet somebody out in the desert at 5 o'clock in the morning that you've never met, that you communicated through online, and you're not going to worry about not coming back out of the desert.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I did that in Arizona and Phoenix, by the way.
Right,
Charles.
Yeah.
Charles. So
just a no plan, just play and have fun. Yeah.
Now this is different than the next one. This is going to be a party animal approach. We'll get to that one in a minute. But what are y'all's thoughts on the? I don't have a single plan in the world. I'm just going to do what anybody else, what everybody wants to do. I mean, there was a moment during going caching where, like I said, I ran into Emily and her mom, and I just like, well, I'll just kind of tag along. Sure, all right, sounds cool. I mean, what are y'all's thoughts on?
I try to build that into my mindset so that even though I'm go, find as much as I can, even though I definitely go sleep at night. I want to have time to, if I run into someone cool or have a neat opportunity, that I'm willing to flex.
Okay. Yeah. Another time that this occurred for me was Jesse. He came up to me one time. We were in Denton. Text Charlie, goes, "Hey, I heard about this cache not too far from here. What do you think?" I'm like, "Sure." And we did. We jumped in the car and we basically drove quite a ways out from Denton to this.
It was 30, 40 minutes or so, wasn't it? I mean, it was outside of the main area.
To the Big Red English Box, which is one of the, by the way.
Totally worth it, too. It was awesome. Totally worth it.
It was, incredible. And we just popped in the car and ran out there. And ironically, we ran into our reviewer, or at least the Texas reviewer was out there with family doing that cache. It is a cache that is actually it's now top 10 in Texas. Sorry, let me get this correct. It's one of the top 10 in Texas as far as on the Wilson scale as for popularity. And we just happened to, I don't know, I remember how you heard about that one either, Jesse.
Somebody told me, I was talking to somebody just randomly there at the event, and they told me, "Hey, you have to go try this one."
Yeah.
And that's how we ended up going to do that one. And we spent probably 45 minutes at the cache, just playing around, taking pictures, and not to ruin the cache, but calling people. You can figure out what the Big Red Box is, right? I mean, it's
it's a Big Red English box.
Yeah, it's a Big Red Box.
And I feel like that always happens. You're always going to run into someone who says, "Are you doing this? Have you done this?" And then you're going to be so interested in changing up your plans. So again, why I leave time to change it up, because as much planning as I do, I'm not going to catch it all, or something new is going to come out.
Right,
I totally hate planning. So I try to take this approach whenever I can. And outside of events, I like to hit every single event, right? And talk to people and hang out with people. But I don't want to go. I don't have time to do that. The awesomest cache I've never heard of in this town, and I'm never coming back. No, that sounds like a terrible plan. I want people to tell me about those fun things to do nearby and have time to go visit them. And then here's something else and go to something else. And I'll come back when the next event's there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's probably something that you can get away with doing at a mega event that happens in a big area with a plethora of caches where you're like, hey, there's this new really cool cache. Let's go grab it. That's probably not going to happen, in Colby, Kansas.
Yeah.
Right. So definitely the location, like I've been to Georgia a couple of times. I have 2 or 3 caches in the state. And, so if I went to going caching in Rome and somebody's like, hey, the oldest cache in Georgia is right down the road.
Yeah.
I haven't got it. We're going. I'd be like, do you got room for one more in the back seat? Be like,
right.
I'm down. I'll ride in the trunk.
Right.
And so it definitely plays on the area of where you're at. And when I go to mega events that are in big metropolitan areas that either I haven't ever been to or, I may not get back to, I totally do this approach to it. I go with a rough sketch of what I want to do. But I leave plenty of holes in that plan on purpose.
Right.
So that when I get there and I say, and I run into somebody who's local-ish and I say, well, what are a couple of the just absolute gotta haves?
Right.
Because maybe it is a newer up and coming cache that when you pull it on favorite point stats or whatnot, it's not at the top yet, but it will be by the end of that weekend. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I do this when I'm going to places that I've never been, like Cincinnati, when we went to the Geo Woodstock there. Never been to Cincinnati, had no idea, and, we ended up driving to Columbus, Ohio, to go grab some caches up there and then turn around and come back. So, definitely is a strategy that I have used in the past.
You did make a comment that made me think of something, the favorite point inflation effect of mega events. You had hundreds of people all going to a handful of caches, and then suddenly after 1 week, it shoots up in that state or region because of all these people who have found it, and now you get this favorite point inflation.
I did a video on my YouTube channel about the top 10 most favorited caches outside in Fort Worth, right? So I pulled the Fort Worth city limits was my boundaries that I used for that. And I did it before the Geo Woodstock there. And it was surprising where you could see some of the caches that were 8 or 9 on that list had jumped up to 6 or 5 by the end of the weekend. And the shuffle of which ones got favorite points and which ones didn't. And so going back to that and looking at the order of those caches before the mega event and then a month after it and seeing how the changes happened was really eye-opening for me, and to see how those caches that were already in the top 10, how they super inflated and went way beyond the cache that was in 11th place that didn't make the list. So
it would be neat to see like a stat, like a graph of over time how the favorite points are awarded, because then if the history of one cache is fairly constant, then that's probably a good thing. But then if suddenly, boom, there's this spike, then there must have been a mega or giga event nearby at that time.
Yeah.
One of the things I think is also interesting, and it came up, I think, and I'm going to get y'all's opinion as well, is the fact that your personality, or possibly the personality of if you're with your significant other at the time for the event, but also maybe the group that you're with depends also upon some of the things that happen. I was thinking about, I was asked Chad about what his thoughts are, because his wife is the planner, right, Chad?
She's a travel agent. Yep.
She's the travel agent.
Yeah, she's my personal travel agent. So,
one of the things I want to ask you about was that, when we were at Texas Challenge, one of the things that I wanted to try to do was, because I was kind of planning out a little bit of what we're going to find, but what I wanted to do was kind of think about, this is something else people could do as well, is if you're sort of tasked, I guess, a little bit with making some of the plans, think about, don't always think about what you want to do. Think about what others might want to do. So one of the things that I think worked out well, I'm going to get Chad and Derek's opinion, but one of the things I wanted to do, and I had talked to Stephanie, Little Miss Sunshine. That's Chad's,
I thought she changed it. No, she changed it.
She did change it. I think she changed it back, hopefully.
It's not Barfing Cobra anymore?
No, I don't think.
No, we actually have something else for that Barfing Cobra thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But, that's something to think about too, is that when you're making your plans, is we found basically like a gadget cache trail. So, and so Chad, I know you're kind of more of a go with the flow kind of guy, right?
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. So you're talking about, the Texas Challenge, right? And going out there and making plans.
Yeah.
I have no plans. I just do whatever. We show up and find people and, hey, you want to go find some caches? And Gary, you planned the day of doing the letterbox hybrids,
sure,
and the gadget trail and stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, if we have to find certain caches to get a coin, like if you're going caching or something, we definitely do those. But other than that, we're kind of like, what kind of caches are cool around here. We look for favorite points, and then the thing we like to do when we go to events is hang out, meet other people, and hang out with other people. So, in Texas, we met with Roomba Cats and his wife, and we drove all around and found caches and talked. And we're not the type of people that we gotta go and get caches in as many as we can. We're driving along finding caches. Oh, hey, there's barbecue. Let's go eat. Or whatever, right?
That was good.
We have no plans.
That was good barbecue.
Yeah, we have no plans. So for us, that's just kind of the way we are. We don't plan stuff. But I don't know if that's the answer you wanted or not. But
no, exactly. And that kind of brings me to the next one on the list, which was something similar to the I have no plans, I'll do whatever, and that is the party animal approach, which I wrote down some notes. Is there a group going out? You're right there with them.
I think
coffee
that's how
time. Oh yeah, you're there. Caching. If others are going, then I'm in, because it's all about the party. So
that's the way to be. I gotta check into that one. That one's too much fun, right?
Yeah.
Everybody has their own theory, but outside of like some super special oldest cache or webcam that you always want to get because they're rare, if there's people going out caching, these are people from theoretically around the country or the world.
Yeah.
You're not going to get to cache with them every day. That's the fun part. Go out caching and just now. There's good and bad to it, right? Like if you're going into a gadget cache, it's not fun to do in a group usually because not a line. If it's 2 or 3 people, it's great. A car's worth, it's great. But half the time it's more fun. You'll get more fun out of the group that you're with than the caches you're going to find most of the time of these. But it's why not? I mean, that's what I go to a mega for sure, is the people that are there, not the caches. You can visit there anytime generally and get the caches, probably. So
yeah,
you can't, if I plan a vacation, I can't make 500 other people show up just because I'm planning a vacation, right? Only the mega's going to do that. So
right,
I would definitely fall into this category. Where's everybody hanging out? Cool. Sounds fun. What are we finding? I don't care. Let's just go play.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I'm at too. I mean, even when we went to going caching, there was a group of us. We were in 2 different cars, and we were going to get all the different caches for the coins. But we
Right.
hung out all day. We'd stop at the cache. We were talking back and forth on cell phones. And we went to lunch together. We went and got some other caches, and then we met up again later. But that's to me, that's what these events are to do: is meet up with people, have fun. Don't go caching alone. I mean, that's no fun. You can do that any day of the week. You're like Jesse said, you can get to go caching with somebody, say from New Zealand. I'm looking forward to getting actually spend some time with See My Shell at Mingo.
Right.
I mean that's gonna be so much fun. I mean, yeah, he lives here in the States now, but he's still an Aussie. So, but I mean, it's just gonna be a lot of fun.
And
He's still
Randy,
the
you
Aussie
see
dude.
people in real life that you may have been communicating with over caching for like 10 years, and you've
Yeah.
never. And this will be the rare chance where you get to, be in the same area as them. I wouldn't want to pass that up to get 30 extra smileys. That to me, that doesn't trade off right. I absolutely want to hook up with all the people and see all the people that I've. Because think how many you've connected with over the last 10 years in caching, and you may never get to meet those people, or you may, who knows? But it's
Now, the other thing to think of though is that there's that introvert extrovert aspect,
Yes,
and
right.
some people are a lot more social than some others. So I mean, if
Absolutely.
you're not all that social, or you're just getting into the hobby and the community, you might not know anybody.
Yeah.
So it's a good opportunity to at least
why they make
try to
whiskey.
meet some people, be
Yeah.
friendly, and you might make some friends. You might connect with people. But I mean, some people, like for introverts, it's not necessarily they don't want to interact with people, but they just might want to step back and calm down a bit and have some time, some solo time. So I mean, whatever your style is, focus on that. Be happy.
yeah,
No.
absolutely.
Well,
Yeah, there's
warning:
some-
if you see me at a mega event and it's lunchtime and you're sitting at a table by yourself and I don't know you, I'm about to sit down with you.
right.
Yeah, there will be people out there who intentionally go to make sure that they make friends and connect with people.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to travel halfway across. I mean, I love you guys, but I see y'all all the time. If I'm
Hey.
going halfway across the country to an event, I'm going to sit with people I'd never met before.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And sometimes that is what that one person, that introvert, or the one person that's not comfortable meeting new people, they may, or obviously you want to fill people out, right? But they may not want to make their own introduction, but then they're a blast. They can have a blast after they've got somebody they feel comfortable talking to in the group, Because if you are an introvert or a shy person or whatever else, walking into a group of 500 people and nobody, it can be overwhelming. But generally what it takes is that one friendly face that can help somebody out a whole lot. And
Yeah, exactly.
the worst thing I ever see at an event, and I'll never let it happen at any event I'm ever at, is somebody that I can tell feels uncomfortable, that's like kind of isolated. Like they don't feel like they can go and talk to people. I'm absolutely going to check and see if that person wants to talk to somebody, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You should feel welcoming. It shouldn't be a curve where you like, oh, all these people know what they're doing. I don't, so nobody's going to want to talk to me. That's not what geocaching should be about. So,
Yeah.
Everybody's got a story.
Oh,
gosh, yes,
absolutely.
that's so true.
And I'll tell you, like when I was a kid, I was the shyest, most introverted, quiet person. And the awesome thing about geocaching is that that's one aspect of this that's kind of opened me up to be more interactive and meet people and make friends and stuff like that. That and videos, those things hand in hand. Like I would never imagine that I'm doing the kind of stuff that I'm doing right now.
Right.
30 years ago. Like it's just totally against the character that I had as a kid. So I mean, geocaching and vlogging and stuff really opens up people to be friendly and and whatnot. So it's a great.
Well, that's one of the things I really like about the going caching. One of the things they have is the trading cards that they have here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's great. Yeah.
You actually have to go up to people and ask them for their trading card, and that's a good way to actually start talking to people and get to know people and quit being shy. Is because if you don't go ask them, then you won't get any of the trading cards. And I'll say that's one of the biggest things at going caching I did was I got a lot of trading cards and a lot of pass tags. That was, I think, one of the main things.
Yep. If the
There.
event has an icebreaker game or activity, do it. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chances
we're all
are there might
there
be
for-
prizes, but you'll meet like some interesting
Those
people.
icebreaker games are the best.
We all
Yeah.
have a mega thing in common, which brought us to the event in the first
She's in the
place.
chat
And so
room.
there,
Yeah.
there's always a way to find some kind of common ground
Mhm.
on the gigantic basis of geocaching.
That is one of the things that really I think gives going caching another plus, another check mark as far as something to go to. I was able to go 2 years ago, and it is a very unique experience, and it's one that you really can go to, especially if you're not like somebody who just can walk up and start talking to anybody. That's a great one. You're right, Chad. That is, the one. What was it, Derek? That y'all had one of the things.
The button trading.
The button buddies.
The button
buddies.
Yeah.
We go up. Yeah, Nikki's button won the button buddy bingo. She had Brian Roth as her button
Right.
buddy.
So you got to meet Brian, because he wouldn't.
Yeah.
Normally you wouldn't be able to, if you don't know who Brian is or don't feel comfortable just walking up. She was able to just get to spend a little time with.
Well, and somebody brought up pad tags.
Yep.
That's kind of one that's common everywhere. Not everybody has them, but if you do have them, and you're shy, that can be a good way to meet people. Hey, people are trading pad tags, and
Yes,
because people that have pad tags and people that trade pad tags, they want to meet brand new people. That's the whole point of the game, right? Is to get brand new ones and trade them out. So that can be a good icebreaker for many people if they're new to an event or don't really know what's going on. But really, you can walk up to anybody at a geocaching event and say anything about geocaching, and they'll talk to you.
yes,
You've already broken the ice.
It looks-
You can tell them like, hey, what's a puzzle? You're about to get a 30-minute dissertation, so you might as well be ready, right? So,
Well, and you'll end up with some of the absolute best friends out of that from places that you never would have imagined that. And there could be like, we met some people from Europe that come and do the Texas Challenge normally every year outside of travel restrictions. But we met a cacher there named John. Language barrier between us and him, but we follow each other on social media. We talk back and forth. We send messages. Yannick Lamposa, who is geocaching with Lampy, me and him, we've sent him boxes of beef jerky. I've got a bottle of whiskey to mail to him. He has sent me and my wife bottles of French wine and French champagne. And so, you end up with some of just the absolute best friends out of that. And sometimes there's a huge language barrier, but by you willing to go and struggle through a simple conversation with somebody who, they may be the only French person at the event, and they struggle with English. And so, you use your best broken French to speak to them.
sure.
And then they're not so bad about using their broken English to talk back to you. And so, but you'll end up with some of the absolute best friends out of all of this, and carry those friendships on for years out. And you may never see them at another geocaching event, but that if they ever are in Phoenix, Arizona, right? I got a spare bed for them. If I'm ever in their region of France, I know that there's a spare bed or a couch at their place for me. And it's those friendships that you develop at some of these crazy events from these people that you never would have thought that you would, become, the 21st century equivalent of an amazing pen pal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that Kyle brought up, Kyle mentions introvert, absolutely hate it. Wish I was able to walk up, approach people because I enjoy the company of geocachers. One of the things that I mentioned to a person one time who's like, I'm going to Geo Woodstock, is one in Fort Worth, but I'm absolutely terrified. And I told him, I said, come to the Geocache Talk booth and just hang there. You can hang there all day, as long as we're, during the period of the time that we were there. I mean, and I said, just be there, because people are going to come up, and we can naturally build conversations. And the same thing for Mingo or for other events as well. As if you feel a little uncomfortable trying to meet 1,000 people, you don't need to meet 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Come talk to us. Jesse doesn't typically bite or hit people, which is good. We're glad that he doesn't do that.
Depending on which event.
Not
it is.
always. Not always.
Yeah.
But just hang with us, or if you don't know anybody, come hang at the booth. If a couple people, try to meet with them, and sure enough, you'll be surprised how quickly you're going to be able to meet others. We've all kind of been there. We were doing that big run at the Texas Challenge, and we had people with us. In fact, we had a whole caravan of cars doing the letterbox hybrid thing. But we ran into other people, and we were able to sort of, we ran into them and got to talk to them and traded information for, if we were letting them know if we needed, we're going to go here, but if we find out more information, maybe we could connect up if you find out information that we don't have. There's that kind of thing. You can kind of trade info, and there's always that opportunity. So don't feel like you can't go to an event at all. Like, I don't know anybody that's going to be there. That's okay. Come up and say hi. What was Neil's?
Here.
I don't know you, but I want to go get. That's good. That's good. You're right.
Although what he's saying, and somebody else mentioned something similar in the chat room. I think it was Scott, but it's kind of flown by now. Those name tags with the trackable number on it. That's a great way. Just people have to come up and they have to look at it, take your picture, and
or wear a whole bunch of stuff with tracking codes on all the stuff, like mountain bike,
all over it.
His pen, his shoes,
People
his
will come
backpack,
to
everything's
you.
got-
Yes.
Yes.
That's right.
That's why the button thing was kind of cool, because you had to go try to find your match, and so that was kind of neat.
And people want to be met as much as you want to meet them. So I sometimes people will come up to me and recognize me from Instagram, and I feel so bad if I can't recognize you, but I still want to meet you and tell me who you are and what your name is, and then I can figure out the face. And not even that, but going caching has a whole element where you need to interact with people to be successful, if that's your goal. And so people need people at certain types of events, and it's just what it is. And so if you go in knowing that at this event I'm supposed to meet people and that's what's going to make it fun, do it.
Absolutely.
Geocacher bingo is another one where you have to find different caches that have done certain things. That's another great icebreaker.
Right.
Yeah,
another thing they did that.
That's another great
thing
one.
with the bingos as well. If it's something that's really rare and you have no idea who it is, you could ask somebody else, hey, or they might tell you, you can get this person to sign this square. So it's another way to like refer people to other people to meet.
That's true.
That is
right.
Just to make sure we're not just picking on introverts for a solid hour here. If you have if you have crippling anxiety about that, you can still attend a mega, and you don't have to be social if you choose not to. You can still go to events. You can hang out. Nobody's gonna force you to do anything. You can go. Maybe you get comfortable. Maybe you don't. But there's still tons of stuff to do, even without. I mean, you can. I love the social stuff. That's my favorite part. But everybody does it differently, right? You don't have to. You're not going to be like. They're not going to pull you up on stage like, we got an introvert. Get him up here now. We got to embarrass this person. You're not going to be put in a situation that you're uncomfortable with. You'll have the opportunity to meet and talk to anybody you want to, but you're not going to be forced. It's not like 7th grade social studies. We had to come up to the front of the classroom and give a report all of a sudden, right? It's
right.
You're
very true. The event is still what you want it to be.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't not go because of other people's expectations about what you should do. You can do the mega however you want to do the mega. That's sort of our final. I mean, not final night, but that's our final thought. Was don't not go to a mega just because you're not this kind of person or this kind of person, or you're not the party animal or whatever. That's okay. Do the mega the way that you'd like to do it. Now, if you want to expand, if you want to change, maybe you want to be the person who does the 135 in a day. which was really difficult for some of us who aren't in the best of shape. But I mean, I can look back on that and laugh and enjoy the fact that we did that. I did the 135, which I normally would never do, but I look back and have good memories of going and doing all that. So
I'm
there's
going to throw out something else that
Yeah.
Chad kind of hit on earlier, that not everything has to center around geocaching at these events. It's a week-long thing, and some of us say afterwards, go see some other stuff. I mean, like at Denver for Jesse's Woodstock. After it was over, we went to the aquarium and went swimming with the fishes in there, and that was cool. But there was nothing geocaching related with that at all.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's like the geo tours are a good way as well, because they're going to be focused on tourism. So that's another thing that is related to geocaching. But if you're in a brand new area you haven't visited, it's a perfect opportunity to go checking out touristy places, and then make geocaching secondary to that.
Right.
Yeah. Flip it around. Go see a really cool place. There's probably a geocache there, but
Absolutely. No, then that's a very good point, because we really we're not really able to focus on that tonight, but you may be coming with people that are not wanting to do, and you have to kind of work it all together. You got to work the group the way that you want to do it together. So the other one we wanted to mention, somebody add to the notes, the target cacher approach. So many geocaches only looking for
we hit Walmart, not Target.
Target, yeah, okay. Walmart cacher.
The Walmart cacher.
Not that
Lamp
kind of
post
target.
Those are parking grabs.
Oh,
Not those kind. The high favorite, the rare stats, the oldies, the challenges, the qualifiers. It's not about the quantity, but more about the quality. What are y'all's thoughts on becoming a target cacher? Maybe that's different than you normally do.
Well, I definitely sprinkle it in for the opportunity of where am I? What haven't I done around here? What's the oldest cache in the state? Am I near it? So that's a part of my pre-planning so that I can decide, again, what are my priorities for this trip.
Yeah. No, excellent.
When I was doing road trips and stuff, I mean, you eventually have to learn how to not find caches, because you're going to be driving past so many all the time. So it's like when you go to a mega event, you're going to be surrounded by so many caches, and unless you are there to find as many as possible, then if you can just mentally get to the point where I don't have to find all of them, but I don't want to pass up the opportunity to find this one because it's the only place where it is. It's like finding those rare ones that you don't want to miss while you're there.
No, excellent. And you can build good memories around those too, because Terry I have real good memories of Susan and I going up and getting the oldest cache in Colorado. Again, was because of Geo Woodstock 14er. The one, the Missouri oldest, also because and I found that one because of the Moga that was nearby. Which is also was something else somebody mentioned before. Scott, good thing. Volunteer 2 hours of your time. Be part of the mega.
You can't say that one enough.
You can't. No, that's critical. And we've got a link. I'll put it in the show notes as well. If you're interested, if you happen to be going to Mingo, you can do a little bit.
Even if it's your first one, right? Volunteering for your very first mega, you're going to get the inside track on everything.
Yeah.
You're going to know everybody that's putting on the event, everything that's happening. You're not going to miss anything because you'll have all the subject matter experts. You'll have all of them right in your pocket. You'll be working with them.
Yeah.
You'll learn the secret handshakes and everything.
That's right.
And in that, the hosts of those mega events, I have yet to see a mega event where the volunteers were not taken care of in one form or another. So if you're sitting there thinking, oh, well, it's 2 hours, I could be out. Trust me, the hosts of those mega events are going to take care of you one way or another, whether that be free food, free drinks, whether they, bring over, you get special. I know that There are a lot of specially minted coins just for the volunteers. So if you volunteer, you're gonna get taken care of at
Yes.
some level by the event hosts.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
And you
so-
can think about the fact that like events are temporary and things that are happening that are scheduled are temporal, but the caches, the geocaches will always be there,
Yep.
generally speaking.
Sure.
So, I mean, you don't worry about, you have to find the caches and prioritize those ahead of mega event content. Right.
There's Sharon's volunteering. There's several people that just mentioned they're volunteering for Mingo coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to get a behind the scenes look. If you volunteer, you get a behind the scenes look. Besides being taken care of, you're basically getting an all access pass to the event because they're very thankful for the volunteers because they don't have a huge budget. They cannot hire, they don't have roadies. That's not a thing. They've got to get people and get stuff done, and you'll get a different view. If you've ever been behind the scenes of a mega, it's completely different than just going and attending one. We've been fortunate. Well, everybody on the show has been fortunate enough to kind of be involved in some of the behind the scenes stuff. You don't have to be the organizer to do that, and you'll appreciate the work that they put on 10 times more. That mega becomes that much more spectacular to you when you see all the work that's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
another thing that just came to mind as well. Don't
Yep.
miss out on the group photo if there is one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When everybody gathers together, find that on the schedule if it's there, and try not to miss it because that's an awesome. Because the thing is, there's a lot of people who attend these events who just want the icon, so they'll show up, maybe sign a log or something, and then leave, and then you miss everything that's happening about the event, right? So I mean, I don't think any large event has had a group photo with every attendee there.
Yeah.
And
No,
in the group photo, don't wear a blue hat
Why?
because I'm going to be wearing one, and I want to be able to pick myself in the photo.
He threw me there for a minute. I was like,
Well
was like,
played.
what?
Well
What's wrong
played.
with the
That's
blue
Tom's
hat?
secret
Oh.
advice. Don't wear a blue hat.
So next
at
event that
Mingo-
Tom's at, everybody's wearing a blue hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah,
at Mingo,
and-
Tom,
So
10
be
o'clock
Where's
Saturday
Waldo?
morning, everybody wear their blue hat. Just saying.
I always wear a blue hat. Mine's
Everybody.
the dark blue. Well, not tonight, but
Yeah, Adam mentioned, he has a different approach. Usually miss the group photo. I've missed almost every group photo of all the megas I've been to. I think I've only was the Geo Woodstock in Fort Worth, but yeah, it's kind of one of those things, I guess. But yeah, if you're really interested in that, that's another. It's one of those things that blue hats all around. Kitty catch, blue hats for everybody.
Now find Tom.
Tom might have just said that to throw everybody off. So now he's going to wear a different color.
Yeah, now he's wearing a pink hat.
Yep, you took the color I was thinking.
There you go.
That's what I was going to do. All right, so we have some random thoughts as we start to get toward the end. I'm going to throw them out, and everybody can comment, not all at one time. Mentally prepared to not be able to do everything. Follow your heart for what you really want to do, and you'll be okay. We've
We've kind of touched on that one, right? There's no way to do unless you're taking 2 weeks, and a lot of places 2 weeks is not enough to clear out a mega area anyway. So you're not going to be able to get everything done unless it's on a small island somewhere. Just prepare yourself to know that get what you want, have fun, and move on.
Collect
or
all-
move there, like
Yeah.
Charles just did. When you're done with your area, just move to another state.
Just move.
Start a new
That's
one.
it. That's it. That's how you handle it.
Collect all trackables that you want to move, and make sure they are in good repair before dropping them off.
So that's a lot of people. We hadn't even touched on trackables, but many events will do the huge trackable tables. Some events do it much better than others, right? Some people just chunk them down there. Some people make them register and whatever else. But first of all, just a little quick thing on trackables. Read the mission before you take it to a mega. They may not want to leave the state that you got them from. So read the mission first. Make sure it's in good repair. If you're going to take it, log it both ends, right? Don't just take it and go, man, I've had this for 6 months. I'm embarrassed. I'm going to drop it at a mega. Don't do that.
Whenever you do, don't do what Tom is going to do. Tom's going to show his, I'm sure.
You're muted, Tom.
It's okay. He's muted. He's going to show it.
You have to be realistic on the travel bug.
He's got a bowling ball and a bowling pin he's showing.
So I was going to say as well, some events might have boxes for different goals. Like
Yeah,
if it's
they
going
do,
to like
typically.
going west or going east or staying within the region, things like that. So if they do have that, make sure you put the travel bugs in the right boxes.
Yeah. I think you're still muted, Tom. I see the red light behind you there. So you have to fix it. Yeah. But don't do anything Tom does. No, I just meant don't do what Tom was thinking about doing, which was hit it again, Tom. You're still red.
You're still Locutus.
There
There,
you
there you are.
Now
You're
you're
there. You're there.
Nope.
No,
now
you're
you're
muted
muted.
I
again.
was muted again.
You muted yourself. There you go.
There.
No.
Now
Technology.
you're good.
Yep.
We can hear
Now
you.
you're good.
We can hear you.
Won't touch
Oh
anything.
wow. Okay.
So you're going to drag that to Mingo, aren't you?
I am.
Well, since we're talking about trackables for a second, do you think it's a good idea or a bad idea to bring trackables to a mega? Because just about every mega event that's ever existed has trackables still in it. 5 years after it's archived.
That's
yes,
true.
what is that? What is that?
That means they've
That's
probably
probably the
been picked up
ones-
by somebody and they haven't claimed or reported that.
Yeah,
they
they didn't
Nobody's
claim
claiming
or they never were there in the first place, or who knows. Because you can't control who checks them into the cache page on a mega.
Right.
So it's
There-
kind of one of those. It's neat to be able to take them and maybe move them around the world and stuff like that. But there's definitely some downsides to it, and they disappear. That's what is it? I think Gary says megas where trackables go to die.
They do. Well, we looked the other. Remember, it wasn't that long ago, Jesse. You and I went to look. Yeah, there you go. 14er has what? Still a dozen or more trackables in it.
Yeah.
In the event that was in 2016. I mean,
Mhm.
that's
Well, in fairness, I still get logs on some of the caches I built for that mega, and the caches were archived after that weekend. So,
Yeah. So
whatever.
it sounds like it might be better to just hand off a trackable with a willing geocacher if you want to
Yeah.
ensure it's
I think
yes,
so.
I agree.
And you could still
Movement.
drop it into the event, but give
Sure,
it to somebody you know
electronically.
will
Mhm.
take it out. Yeah.
right.
Well, if you're willing to take that bowling ball, I'll gladly give it to you.
Somebody's going to
I
take
think-
the bowling ball, Tom.
I think one of the issues is people bring stuff that's not
Okay.
realistic for other people to put in a cache. I know one around here, there was someone who brought a 3-foot tall Superman, a whole bunch of really big items that no one's going to take. And so the event was stuck with it, and they ended up putting them in one of my big travel bug hotels and just stuffing it with, because they didn't know any other place to put them.
And now you're
So-
stuck with them.
They've all disappeared. I just
Okay.
left them there. I know some of them got taken down to HQ because they got an even bigger area to put them, and they sit there forever. And I know some people, that's kind of their motive, is to have it go sit at HQ in the big track in their cache there inside the lobby, so people can discover it while they're visiting HQ, and no one will ever take them. But yeah, don't take unrealistic travel bugs to events.
Ideally, those types of travel bugs will have
Just
missions that
don't
are very
make
clear.
unrealistic travel bugs.
Yeah, like if the mission is clear, take me to an event and give me to somebody who wants it. Then don't take it to an event and leave it there. Right? Like,
Right.
Understand what the mission is. Mostly those types of huge, enormous travel bugs aren't typical travel bugs to drop into caches. They have missions.
Yes, that's
Well, that's how I ended up with those two, because they were the last two left at Texas Challenge.
was the bowling ball and the bowling pin. That's funny. Another item is be wise and set a budget. You can easily go overboard with all the nice shiny things. This is
Oh
for
my
Ryan.
gosh, all the vendors.
No.
This is for Ryan. And this
That's
is
why I can't
for
go to Coin Fest.
Emily. And this is for let's see who else.
You get credit card offers in the mail all the time. Just accept a few of those, and
You know what,
So-
Tom? I'll accept one of yours. Just send it over to me.
Yeah. Yeah, so
But it is a chance to see some stuff from vendors that you might have been on the fence about buying.
you're
There's
right.
no shipping. So
Yeah,
there's
that's
definitely
true.
some perks to seeing the vendors at the event. But yes, set your budget.
Those are good points though, Emily, because sometimes you might see it on their site, or maybe you've never seen a really good photo of it, but you've heard about it.
Mhm.
So you're like, do I want to purchase it, or maybe I want to, maybe I want to see it first, like you said. And So you can kind of go to an event and take a look at it first, and then decide if you want to purchase that. So,
And some vendors make an event exclusive item. So even though
Yes.
they're not official swag from the swag package, they're still very much related to the event, and it might be additional swag that you want to have.
no, good point.
Oh yeah, and you'll find exclusive stuff that like old or exclusive going out of, it's not in print currently or whatever, and you may not be able to get that online. You may have to get it at events, and if you're a collector of stuff, you got to have the rare ones, right?
Yep.
A lot of times too, you'll see discounts.
Oh yeah.
Things will be cheaper from those vendors. If you happen to go into Mingo, there are going to be some cool vendors. They're going to be at Mingo Madness. Of course, one of my favorites, Drives Cash Closet, because and Art and Crafted too. And there's several, but David doesn't travel necessarily to every event. He
I
has
saw him
sort
at an
of,
event this weekend.
Did you? Cool.
Yeah.
He's one of the things that I think that's very people don't know about, because it's something he won't mention and other people won't mention, but he will go out of his way to make sure that other vendors, so Space Coast can't make the trip, so he would normally not go, say, to the Mingo Madness if Space Coast was going, because he will defer, and I wish more vendors would do this, but he will defer to others that are
Making their living at it.
that's their whole livelihood.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
for David, he's retired and he does it sort of on the side. Now, he could use the money for sure, but that's really nice of him. He could just be, I'm going to every event and I'm going to, put all my vending items out. I'm going to, he could be real cutthroat about it, but he doesn't. He will take a much, to me, that alone, in my opinion, is what I'm trying to tell people to do, is go buy something from him, because of the very fact that he will not go to every event, because he wants to make sure that others that do it for their livelihood are not affected by that. So
As much as we all love Amazon, and I'm sure we've all been super friends with Amazon, most of the vendors you'll see there are small vendors, right? They're geocachers. They're small operations.
Right.
So sure, you can find more stuff than you can buy from geocaching online, but some of those cool, just like Scott said, support your local geocacher, right? Why not?
Yeah.
They're geocachers. They're not a
And
big
you get
factory
to
somewhere.
see the faces behind these geocaching small businesses. That's fun too, to know
Yeah,
who they are.
absolutely.
I'm going to throw this in for them too. If you can, bring cash,
Yes.
because that saves them the credit card fees.
Yes.
Yeah, if they get charged per transaction, it's huge.
Mhm.
There's money out of their pocket, out of your pocket, and also out of theirs, and it goes to somewhere else. So
It's true.
do you want to point something out, Jesse? Is that
Nope. Go for
Okay.
it. You're doing perfect.
Listen to podcasts interviewing the organizers before the event to better understand what is going to happen, and to help you know what you want to focus on doing, like we're talking about tonight.
Yeah. No idea where you can find one of those.
I don't know where you can find those.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we
No
have
idea.
different
Oh,
shows.
is that
with
what we're
them.
doing now?
We're doing that now.
Oh wait, are we live?
Oh.
Let's do it right now.
Oh,
But that's a good point. We've talked about that before. Go back through our library of podcasts. Look for us discussions, even maybe after an event. We've had
Last year's
discussions
event or
too.
something, Yeah.
Yeah, I mean those are good, because we can give you tips and feedback and thoughts. Maybe we thought went well or didn't go well, or what we plan to do, which may not necessarily have been what we should have done. And there's things that we mentioned that I think are helpful. I really do. It really, anybody on the show, anybody in the network can talk. We've talked about different things, so
But there's a I think a couple people mentioned going caching earlier. There's a little bit of a learning curve to going caching. You know, you can go and attend it and have fun. But if you really want to maximize going caching, the whole week is a puzzle. There's tons of junk to do there. And if you just walked in and never researched before you went there, you would go and you attend a mega and you do stuff and everything else. But you would miss out on so much. And we've done many megas here, right? Texas Challenge is one thing. That Moga is another thing. There's so many. Mingo, that's going to be a whole other thing coming up. There's different feel and culture to each one, which is the whole point of going to a bunch of different ones, right? You get to do a whole bunch of different stuff everywhere. Some are contests, some are GeoCoin Fest, that's all about the bling. There's no doubt about it. There's coins wall to wall everywhere. You're gonna see stuff you've never seen before.
Yeah.
Google a podcast, get on YouTube, see what last year's was like. There's what's the one up in New York that we did one time? It's a camping.
ASP.
Yeah. I mean, if you didn't know and you're just like, oh, there's a mega, I'm going to this weekend. Oh, this is a camping event. I thought we were racing each other. What's going on? There's a lot of stuff to do. Doing a little research, you don't have to. You can walk up at any one and you're good to go. But to get so much, this may be your only trip you get to go on for months and months at a time for a lot of people, right? But not everybody gets to travel every single day. So get the most out of it. Get the most of what you want out of it, right? You don't have to do it all, but know what's a possibility there. And, just like with Mingo coming up, there's not a previous one really with tons of video on it. There will be after this one for the next time. If you're looking it up 5 years from now, there's going to be I think officially a crap ton of
there will be,
videos.
that's official.
There's going to be live stuff. There's going to be everything because not everybody, like even two of our team right here, can't make it this time. Right. Lots of people can't make it, so we want people to have some reference point the next time, right? Like, is this worth my dollars to go to this event, or should I go to a different one? And they have some way to compare. So do it just to do a little research, and you'll get so much more out of it.
Yeah, one thing I want to mention, then we'll start to go around the room and wrap up, which is know what the event is, because we've had people mention different events and they all kind of have their own way of doing things. And so you can't approach Texas Challenge, for example, the way that you might approach going caching or Woodstock. I've had people ask me like, well, so what all do you do at Texas Challenge? It's like, well, it's a little bit different. You don't walk around and necessarily peruse all the tables and spend 4 hours walking around the tables and stuff. It's a whole different ball game for that mega. So you kind of have to know what it is going into it. So, hopefully people who went to Texas Challenge at least understood that, because if you walked into where the vendors are, you're kind of there with about 4 or 5 other people, and you're like, where's everybody? It's like, well, they're all
vendor.
Yeah, they're all out somewhere else, which is different. Gigastock, for example, was kind of the opposite in that you basically could go to Gigastock for the whole day and not leave and be able to interact with everybody there. It was more like a carnival. Would y'all agree that that's more of a, in fact, there was a carnival. They had rides there at Gigastock. So 2 vastly different megas, or in this case, a Giga and a mega, but you know what I'm saying? Mm. Very, very different. So just kind of know what do your research. So I'm done. Next person. I'm done.
I would say reach out and ask. Even if you don't know who to ask, there's, for example, this network. We all have so many different experiences based on what megas we've gone to. So reach out to us. We want to help you. We can get you to the direction of who can help you from those connections we've made from past megas. Reach out to the the page owner of the event. They're going to want to help you have the best time you can have at their event. So ask away.
I like it.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Facebook in this instance is actually your friend.
Oh.
Normally I hate Facebook, and
Oh, Jesse.
everything related to it. But if you need to connect with some cashiers, you're trying to find out, there's generally going to be a state group. There's going to be a group, probably a group page for that mega. If you have some questions, you can ask them on there. Just know that you're on Facebook and you may get some wacky stuff. So you may want to try to, there's not the best place to get 100% accurate information, but it may be able to connect you to somebody that does have accurate information. So just take Facebook with a grain of salt, but a little bit of information can go a long way. You can find out which, because when megas start back up, like being frequent, you're going to have a lot to choose from.
Yeah.
And unless you're just completely lucky, you're not going to get to go to all of them. So you're going to have to pick and choose. So that's how you kind of pick and choose which ones are best for you, is doing a little bit of digging and see which ones are the best style that you like.
Yeah. Very cool. Very good.
I would say
Jeff?
another thing. I'm not sure if you mentioned it. If you think you are going to be going, the farther away from the event that it is, like before, like way early, post your will attend. Let them know how many people, at least at that point, like months or a year in advance or whatever, are interested in going. Even if it's not like set in stone, but your plan is to go, post your will attend. You'll get the notifications of announcements, details. It'll give the staff an idea of how many people are interested for their planning. As it gets closer to the event, if something comes up and you can't go, make sure you get your will attend off of there, change it to a note or delete it, something like that, because then they know that this person is not coming and their numbers are a little more accurate. But if you aren't sure that you're going yet and you really don't want to put a will attend, but you want to get the announcements, then actually scratch that. I was going to say put it on watch, but then you're going to get everybody's will attends as well.
Yeah.
So will attend is important. Make sure you do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Charles.
Do your research and for me, depending on where we're going, have a rough plan of what you want to accomplish. Right. And that's the thing, is make this event what you want it to be. If you're the I have no plan and I'm gonna piggyback along with somebody else, hey, perfect, because that's your plan.
Right.
But have a rough outline of things that you want to accomplish, and as you get closer to that, network with people on how to accomplish those if you need assistance in that. Definitely know what you're going to. The Texas Challenge is completely different from GeoCoin Fest, is completely different from going caching.
Right.
And so know what those different events kind of are themed around, because it may be something that you completely have zero desire to go do. And you may be better off spending your money on going to a different mega event later in the year that probably would suit your needs, your desires a little better. So, definitely make it what you want it to be. And if you, want to go and do this, that, and the other, put that in your schedule, make time for it. And if you have to miss an official side event to go get what you want done, go do it. That's kind of my thoughts on it.
That's good. Chad?
The only thing I can think of that you guys haven't touched on is, as far as supporting the event, maybe stay at one of their partnered hotels.
Right.
Anything you can do to help the event and the people who sponsor it, the hotels that give the discounts to the geocachers, try and stay there and help them out.
Right. No, that's good. Tom?
Another thing.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, take pictures.
Pictures, yes.
When you post your on the event page, you can post with your log, share some photos and stuff like that. I mean, there could end up being hundreds or thousands of photos, but there's a record now of things that were fun from your perspective. So yeah, take pictures, share them on social media as well. Help spread the word.
No, you're right, Jeff. That is critical, because there may not be another time anywhere in the near future where you might see that person again. I mean, we use geocache with Lampe. He's in France. I have a picture of him with me. I mean, I was like, those kind of things where you can look back, you can look on your phone or wherever you're keeping all your photos, and you can, I was able to go geocaching with WV Tim. Sometimes people, I mean, if you live around the area, you might see WV Tim all the time. Maybe you don't. I don't live near him, so being able to find a cache with WV Tim, that's a highlight of my geocaching career. I got to find one with Chris Williamson, the director of Treasure. I was able to find a cache with him. I mean, those are memories that you not only have, but if you take a photo, you can look back and go, oh yeah, we found that cache together. That was another fun thing. So yeah, photos is great. So we'll go Tom and then Emily and Derek. So Tom, what are your thoughts? You've been to a lot of megas.
I've been to a bunch of Geo Woodstocks and the Texas Challenge and stuff, and one Geo Coin Fest, and
right.
I'd say just go and have fun.
Yeah.
And even a bunch of us, we don't all cache the same. We don't have the same caching styles. We don't have all the same likes and interests, but we're all going to be there, and we're going to at Mingo, and most of us, and we're going to have a blast.
Yeah. No, that's good. I guess Emily, what are some of your thoughts? And we'll do Derek last. Why I don't know, but just the way it worked out.
Well, I've said a lot.
A lot of good stuff.
Yeah. So again, I'm happy to chat with anyone who's interested in megas. What are they about? How do you do a thing? I've kind of evolved into that person who all my vacations are centered around geocaching and a lot of them around mega events. So I don't know, expert, non-expert, whatever you want to call me. I'm willing to throw out any thoughts anyone has as they try to plan their mega excursions.
Well, and I think also you have a good perspective if people are bringing their family. That's another thing that, you're able to do. I mean, you did going caching with your mom. Have you all done have you and your mom done ones with megas before?
Yeah, we went to Gigastock together.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, now she's willing to get out and cache too, but
right. But even my dad, he's come to a point where he's like, yeah, you girls go to going caching. I'll stay home. You make me tired.
Right. So, but again, you have a good perspective because you've done that. It's not just, you and spouse, although spouse was, definitely, a cacher, but I mean, it's you and parents. So that's another, another possibility that some people might not be thinking about. And so, yeah, you'd be a good resource for that.
Yeah, my mom definitely plays a role, like especially at going caching. We've kind of found our thing. We went one time where we had no idea what we were doing. The second time we did, and now the third time we're going this year, we're ready to go. We have our roles. She's my support. I know what to do. She keeps me from getting hangry. I use her for a secretary. Like, it's all good. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then of course the opposite, which is taking the kids. And so, Derek, you can talk about trying to do a mega with the wife.
Yeah,
and the kids.
and Mingo's actually gonna be the first one we're not taking the kids to.
I know,
just
it's different.
It's actually good. It's gonna be great. This Mingo's gonna be a little bit different, anyways, for us because Jess is. Let's see here, just a little over a week out from a hip surgery.
Yeah.
Right now, so we're gonna kind of be laying low.
Right.
But we may be driving, doing different caches, but she may be sitting in the car. We cache as a team anyways.
Right.
But to me, it's, have fun, relax, cache the way you want to cache. You want to meet people. You want to go out caching. I mean, we talked about all the different types tonight, and that's fine. I like trading swag. So even I bring personal swag, from my path tags to, I may have some of my personal trackables, different, like I still have some of the going caching cards. So I have a lot of different stuff that I trade with buttons or anything like that. And that's another thing that I like doing. So if you see me at an event, hey, come trade with me. I got stuff. generally I have more than enough. And so just lots of different stuff. I love getting to talk to people, love getting to meet people, finding out what types of caches they like doing. I get ideas from them. They get ideas from me. So, I mean, it's just, I love the community. To me, that's what events is about. It's about community, getting to meet people. You generally do a lot of caching unless I'm going with a group. I'm not going on my own. That's to me, that's not the point of an event doing that. I love hanging out with people, love getting to talk and getting to know you.
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to wrap up one thing too. And go ahead.
I forgot to mention about the kids. Different events have different things for kids. Going caching was really great. Had a lot of stuff for kids. So knowing that what type of event it is. Yes, they are family friendly, but some events may have more things for kids. I know Geo Woodstock in Texas had the bounce houses and all this different stuff with the kids. Right. Going caching had actually had a special set of caches right there on the grounds for them to do. They got a special going caching card. So there's a lot of different, but you needed, like you said, need to know the DNA of that event to be able to do that. And there's different caches, different ways for that. Texas Challenge may not necessarily be really great for 3-4 year old kids because that's not that type of an event. But like I said, just knowing that kind of DNA.
Yeah, that's perfect. And I guess I am going to, this is directly about Mingo, which normally tonight, hopefully the idea was not to talk just Mingo. Hopefully we covered the fairly wide range of at least different kind of types of, even if we didn't mention every mega that's out there, but there is something we're going to be doing. We don't know what day, we don't know what time, but I guess I will mention this, and that is Jesse had an idea.
Spill it.
Well, Jesse had an idea, so we're gonna go with this, and that is.
Oh, now I don't even know what you're gonna say, so don't blame this on me. I don't know what you're gonna say here.
So
it's a pop-up event.
This was Jesse's idea.
That's right.
We're actually going to do a kind of like that. We're gonna do a pop-up giveaway.
Oh no! Gary just spilled the beans. I've been waiting all night to do that.
You knew he was going to do it eventually, yeah.
So stay tuned for that, because if we happen to go live and we're somewhere, you might want to try to find us, because there may be some cool things that are out there that we can give away for if you can
find
us.
Some sweet
That's a great
swag.
idea.
That's right.
Kansas pretty flat. All you gotta do is turn around and look.
That's true. That's true.
That's your Mount Sunflower.
Very good. Yeah. But this was actually Jesse's idea. So.
Oh no.
Jesse.
Just spilled the beans. That was a horrible idea.
That's terrible. You should never do that again.
That's even better.
I like the fact that it was we did that bad. All right. That's it. I think we're done tonight. So
we got to be done after that.
We're done.
Please be done.
Good night, everybody. Here we go.
May your finds be many and your DNFs be few. May the terrain and difficulty both be less than 2. And whatever it is you're looking for, may it find its way to you. And may we all meet again.
Folks, we hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. Please email us your comment at geocachetalk@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The show can be found on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Radio Public, or Spotify, as well as at the Geocache Talk website. Don't forget to click that subscribe button below and ring that bell notification so that you can see and hear the show on a weekly basis. And tell your friends about the show. Get them involved with us in the chat room. And until next week, don't just talk about geocaching, go geocaching.
Good night.
Night.